What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Beausoleil, and that's the one and the only. It is Scott Savage. Scott, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, sliding into a bunch of new games this week. They just never stop. We're talking about Atomic Hearts now. Or not Atomic Hearts. Wow. It's not,
that's what you want to play.
We're in the week now, yeah. Oh, there's so many still coming. Where's Avowed?
Dude, nobody knows, dude. Nobody knows where that is. Yeah, that's an Obsidian joint, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, where is that game? But where we are sometimes anyways is over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG, as well as youtube.com/theofficialITG at 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. But if you can't join us when we're live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, today's a big show. One of Xbox's biggest titles this year appears to have leaked the release date. Uh-oh. Ubisoft has no plans for The Division 3. That's a heartbreaker. And Microsoft admits that Xbox Game Pass cannibalizes sales. Dude, I wondered about that one. That is going to be an interesting discussion, my friend. But are you ready, Scott? Because I want to talk about it. It is Starfield release date has been leaked. This is Tyler Fisher over at comicbook.com. The Starfield release date has seemingly leaked online, and according to the leak, PC, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X users will be getting their hands on the RPG this summer. A rumor from last week suggested the game is coming out in June, and this week's leak reinforces that rumor. The leak comes the way of GOG Galaxy, which lists the game for release on June 29th, 2023. Of course, this could be an error, but the specialty of the date is odd if it is an error. Typically, when there is an error like this, it's a release window / placeholder date. Whatever the case, the date is a Thursday. As you may know, the most common day for a AAA release is Friday, followed by Tuesday. Almost every AAA game releases on one of those 2 days. However, there has been a few games where they kind of changed things up, and we can also relate that to Cyberpunk 2077 coming on a Thursday, Scott. June.
Cyberpunk gave me a feeling of the Mondays.
That's fair. Yeah. Cyberpunk gave a lot of feelings. What are your thoughts? Do we get a June? There's a lot to kind of unpack here, Scott.
Well, yeah, if we knew, or if we had the idea that June was the window, it just barely makes that. June 29th, there's not very many days left in that month. But like they state here, it's not a placeholder. If it were a placeholder, I would expect just June or June 1st or June 31st, perhaps. Something more generic.
No, absolutely. There's a lot kind of... we had there was an Xbox showcase last year, right? And then we get a little bit more information this year saying that Starfield will be coming in the first half of the year for 2023. June is like on the brink of that first half, right? It's funny because I was just talking to somebody on Twitter yesterday going, because it's been so warm out here lately, because it feels like spring. Can we move some release dates up? And I was looking at you, Starfield. Well, sure enough, here's Starfield today. We're talking about it, right? So I'm like, yeah, let's go, because it is such a hype title. And June, we look at our schedule for games, and our show is like, dude, we are packed. There's so many games on the regular. And then when you get into Starfield, that is a big title. And they promised it. That's the problem. We've had a release date, then it got delayed. Then from there, we've seen this window, but no confirmation on the release date. And if we go to June, there's no placeholder, but it's been announced as June 29th or revealed or leaked, right, per se. So is that enough time, Scott? Or do you think, as I was going back and forth on Twitter, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised to see it leaked to 2024.
Yeah, it's because of just the gravity of it, the weight of this release. I really question if they're going to try and rush it at all, or if they will push it back again. But this would be the third delay, I believe.
But that's the problem, right? I don't think they want to delay it to 2024. As much as I could see it happening, I think they do want to get it out this year. And if they do, man, it'd be like the first time in, I think, forever, if at all, the Game Awards could have an Xbox title for Game of the Year discussion. Right? Because year after year, it's third party and PlayStation going head to head. Well, if this year lines up, dude, Hogwarts, I'm telling you right now, is in that discussion, right? And Starfield, rightfully so. Spider-Man, potentially as well. All of a sudden now, and then on top of that, let's not forget, dude, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming out this year as well. We're having everybody in this discussion moving forward into this year's Game Awards. That is an impressive year. Dude, that's a banger of a year. That's huge.
Well, I'm wondering if we do see a delay, will it be till the November kind of holiday window? Because that, again, market-wise, might make sense for them.
Holiday season is a big, important season, right? I remember everybody used to hold their games until the holidays, and then they could be there for Christmas and all that kind of stuff, right? So everybody opens up the things and like, whoa, there's my gift. Now, dude, it's just one game after another. There is the holiday rush. So that's when we always get Call of Duty. Look for it coming this November, guarantee you. And it's kind of one of those, do you compete in that market, or do you, this is where we've seen over the years now, is everybody's kind of like, well, let everybody else just fight for the consumer's money around the holiday season. And when we come out ahead of that schedule, where it's a little bit more quiet per se in the games industry, and here's a big game, like, dude, we got Horizon in February. Like, there's other huge titles that we're getting now scattered throughout the year, that it's just, there's constantly something on the drop, and we're not just kind of scattered going, okay, we're going to play this game for 6 months, and then we're going to wait till the holiday season and then play that for another 6 months.
Oh no, it's a constantly rolling snowball at this point, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It certainly does. But going into June, it's funny because I was predicting that they would get delayed until like the holiday season, if not 2024. But if this is true, dude, we're playing Starfield this summer, and I'm excited because this is a huge RPG, and we're in for a ton of hours, like a ton of hours to play.
Well, without looking at the release schedule for the end of June, this might take all of the mind share. It might be a great idea to release right then.
It could be. Okay, I'm pulling up right now. I'm heading over into releases.com, everybody. Actually, Scott, you take a look at... Oh, actually, I'm there right now. Never mind. I'm on Game Informer. I'm going into June. Let's see what's coming up right now in June. Street Fighter 6. We Love Katamari Reroll. Diablo 4. Dude, that's a big one. Final Fantasy 16. That's another one.
Oh, how did I forget about Final Fantasy 16?
So there are a couple titles, but now if we suddenly start lining that up into that mix as well, dude, Diablo 4, if this goes through, right, with the whole Xbox Activision thing, that's now becomes another Xbox title, right? Essentially. And then you get into Starfield being in there. Man, June already starting to heat up, Scott. Busy times. But
it's all such a blur all the way back to Metroid Dread. That's where this blur really started to accelerate for me. And I could almost survive if no new games came out after 2023 is over, but of course that's not the case.
No, there's always something new, but what isn't new or coming by the sounds of things is what Ubisoft currently has no plans for the Division 3. Scott, that's a heartbreaker, man. Kyle, myself, Nate, Ben, we were in there for a long time, for quite a while, playing the Division 2, having a great time. Division 2, it's funny, it eventually got the hooks into me. It took me, the Division 1, didn't really like that one. It didn't click all that well. Get into the Division 2, and I'm like, and then it hit. And then the bug hit. And then the grind for loot, and then the management system and everything else in there, and the story. I was like, okay, cool. Wrap that up. Where's the Division 3? Well, according to Mike Straw over Insider Gaming, there is no Division 3. Despite the success of the first two installments, Ubisoft currently has no plans to release the Division 3. While things could ultimately change, those close to the company have told Insider Gaming that a new mainline game in the series isn't in development. The Division first launched in 2016 to positive reviews. That was followed up by the Division 2 in 2019, just 3 years after, which has sold more than 10 million copies total, Scott. Not a bad little deal at all, right?
And there's been no slow to the additives to that game. As far as I understand, it's been well supported for these years.
Absolutely. Currently in Season 10, the Division 2's latest season event follows the story of General Peter Anderson. The mission of the current season is to stop Anderson from reaching an agreement with the Black Tusk, which could lead to the end of the Division. Dude, that's a great way to kind of halt the series That's what you're looking to do it, right? All of a sudden, like, nah, the division's over. This is how we do this. The next major update to the game is currently behind due to game-breaking issues created while in development. What did we?
That's the latest thing I had seen.
That's okay. So you brought this up. There's an update that broke the game, but then the update mechanic is broken too, so they can't update the game to fix it. Dude, that's...
some sort of strange chicken and the egg is happening when they're trying to fix this.
Yeah, which is man, that sucks. That really does suck. Here's my thinking. This is kind of where I'm coming in. We know they're working on the Division Heartland. Are we moving away now from the Division 2 to more of a online consistency games of service model with the Division Heartland, right? The Division 2, the Division 1 are co-op experiences, not really that games of service model, but here we are into season 10.
Yeah, I thought number 2 was... I'm confusing it with the Destiny 2, having a 10-year plan for support. I don't remember if the Division 2 had a 10-year plan.
I don't think so. Not at all. I think they had a couple years, and then I was kind of thinking maybe the Division 3. But now that we have heard of the Division Heartland, we're obviously still waiting. The Division Heartland is also supposed to be free to play. So here it opens up another window of opportunity. Can you keep this community alive? A lot of people love the Division. We're big fans of it here. And it is a well-made game. It's always been well done. It's well mechanicked. The game, the guns feel great. The game mechanic is great. The story is cool. Like, there's so much there to hook you in that you can spend hours upon hours. And then you got the dark zone too, right? Like, man,
I wish it had pulled me in, but I didn't get in with enough of a team. That was my problem. And I feel like I have to correct you with the guns. It felt like I had an airsoft gun in my hands.
So once you get, I get what you're saying, because I'm one of the ones who are always like, man, it feels like a sponge, right? And I'm just like
paintball mode.
Exactly. Where, yeah, I get it. But it is the mechanic behind it. It is not Siege, right? It is not one shot to the head and the target's down. As much as I love that play style, the Division is more bullet spongy, right? But there are other games I feel that are a lot worse than that, where I felt there's a bit of a nice balance that I was actually getting used to and enjoying with the Division. That, yeah, it would take not a full clip, but maybe half to 3/4 of my clip to take out my target. So
I think that's only natural when it comes to an RPG like that. Like, it's not meant to be 2 shots and drop, and there's constantly new guns coming out. It gives you reason to grind up the loot, so that makes sense.
No, absolutely. So here right now, the spin-off is the Division Heartland, remains in development by Red Storm Entertainment, who shout out to Red Storm, all the way back to Siege, dude, were the tactical days where you actually pulled out your map and you pinpoint where your team's Alpha would go this way and Bravo would go that way, and then you cut down here. Yo,
the early rainbows.
Yeah, the early rainbows, dude. That was a whole other level, and I was in deep with that one. So yeah, great to see Red Storm still around.
I kind of hope they return to that old norm.
Oh man, it'd be fantastic.
I would like to have the gun in the HUD. I'd like to see the weapon I'm holding, but that's the only thing I would like to change.
So that game will be, like I just said, free to play, and it features a PvPvE gameplay for up to 45 players, as well as a PvE mode that sees players complete missions and collect gear. It was originally set to launch in 2022, but it's been delayed to 2023 sometime. So this is now where I wonder, are we getting out of the Division 3, and instead we're shifting over to Heartlands? Massive right now, the ones who've been currently working on the Division are working on Pandora, Avatar Pandora. I want to say Pandora tomorrow, but that's Splinter Cell. Dude, I always do that. Frontiers of Pandora. Sorry, that's what it is. So
that's what I was trying to remember, because you messed me up now. I'm like, of Pandora.
And I believe they're also working on a Star Wars game. So Massive is busy. But maybe they just pass the reins over here, and then we get something from Red Storm coming in the world of Heartlands. Don't forget also...
keep the IP alive.
Yeah, exactly. But to keep it alive again, we're going into mobile here with Resurgence. So the Division has titles coming along, whether you want to play on mobile or not. You do have Heartlands, which is supposed to be free to play, which asks more people to come in. And it's just a lot kind of going on still for the Division, but it's just not the continuation of the Division 2 into 3. It's a new story, new characters, new whatever. So it's still around, Scott, but we'll see when we get more.
Hopefully that broadens up the IP a little bit more. We get more out of it.
Yeah. Dude, I'm down for that. And I definitely want to check out the mobile game as well. Dude, I want to play Siege on mobile. I want to see how that works.
Oh, I'm so curious.
Me too. I'm really curious. But
I get frustrated already.
that's I want to jump into more Microsoft talk, as Microsoft admits Game Pass cannibalizes sales. This is an interesting one. This is Anthony Wood over at IGN. Microsoft has admitted that putting games on its Xbox Game Pass subscription service leads to a marked decline in base sales. Scott, that would only be expected though, right?
Yeah, that's sort of what we thought about. Must have been 2 years ago now, at least, and we're thinking, of course, it takes some of the sales because you're going to go and buy a Game Pass and get 100 other games at the same time. But where does the money go?
Well,
still positive, still a net positive, I think.
right? As reported by GamesIndustry.biz, the confirmation was included as part of the UK competition and market authority provisional reports on Microsoft's proposed $69 billion merger with Activision Blizzard, embedded within the 277-page document. Huh.
Oh, imagine having to read those.
Was a short paragraph revealing that Microsoft had submitted an internal analysis to the government body that showed a redacted percentage decline in base game sales 12 months following their addition on Game Pass. Scott, I don't think really that it's hurting them that bad. I get it. The admission clashes, though, with remarks made by Xbox boss himself, Phil Spencer, back in 2018, wherein he claimed that adding titles to the service actually boosted sales. Microsoft's movement to acquire Activision Blizzard has attracted intense scrutiny from antitrust regulators across the globe and from its primary competitors, Sony PlayStation. Yep, that's a big one. Now it's even got in Bobby Kotick is saying that PlayStation's trying to sabotage it all, and
I want them all to get on Jerry Springer.
Man, I just want it over with, Scott. I just want to move on, man. Either sell
or
don't
a boxing
sell.
Match. Can we just do a boxing match like they do on YouTube nowadays?
Many of the objections surrounding the merger stem from the fear that it would give Microsoft the power to make popular franchises such as Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox consoles. Sony had previously voiced its concern with the deal in November 2022 statement, in which it highlighted that the merger could, quote, lessen current and future competition in multi-game subscription services, end quote. Coming from, I'm guessing, where PlayStation is losing, right? Because they're winning right now in sales, right? When you talk about exclusives, dude, they're crushing it. God of War hit 11 million units just the other day. Like, they're doing just fine when it comes to
the
console exclusives.
The hypocrisy of the situation bothers me so much.
Because they're not doing bad, right? They're not doing bad at all. But when it comes to their subscription service, yeah, they're plus essentials and then the premium and then whatever the middle one is or something. I don't know. I just pay for the top one and away I go, right? Like, I can't be just take my money. And
that was a marketing strategy, I think, as well.
and it worked, right? But I don't think right now they're really on the same level where Xbox is with Game Pass. They're still behind, right, when it comes to that. Because on day one, you will not get your next God of War. You're not going to get Spider-Man on day one on whatever PlayStation service comes out with. Their PlayStation Now has been kind of squished into their PlayStation Plus service now. It offers you the streaming, but it doesn't offer you day one streaming of that game or the download of that game like Xbox Game Pass does. And that's the bit of a hiccup, right? And that's where they're trying to go, well, you guys are going to own the services. Well, right now you're owning the market share when it comes to exclusives. So there is no give and take, right? It's an ongoing battle that I cannot wait to see finished.
Yeah, really. I just want to see other headlines, perhaps more positive.
No, absolutely.
And a quench to the console wars, because it just gets worse and worse.
Man. I just honestly, at the end of the day, and I say this all the time, I'll play a good game wherever it is, and I just want to play games. Doesn't matter. I don't care if I'm on PlayStation or Xbox or I'm on PC. PC is not my preferred because I'm not a keyboard and mouse kind of guy, but I still, dude, I was just playing Predecessor yesterday, so here I am, Scott.
Yeah, no, there's some that'll bring you into it.
Absolutely. Scott, who needs FIFA? Because EA is closing in on a deal with Premier League. This is Ollie over at Polygon. When Electronic Arts took the bold step of walking away from its decade-long association with FIFA, World Football's governing body, it entered a brave new world for its soccer game series, which will now go by the name EA Sports FC. Well, kind of a brave new world. In fact, EA has built a network of relationships in the football world over the past 30 years, including many licensing deals and individual leagues and teams, and doubtless now feels comfortable striking those deals on its own without notoriously corrupted FIFA. Dude, they're just branching out. According to Sky, the deal is worth close to $600 million and will deliver the Premier League around $95 million annually. Where it was something like FIFA wanted some extraordinary amount of money. Like, yeah, I can't
think
remember
it was
what it
1
was.
billion. I think it was $1 billion.
And they're like, no, we don't need you. And dude, here they are. Oh yeah, here it is. Ultimate Team mode of EA soccer games alone delivers an incredible 1.6 billion in revenue just for EA. So
Holy
man,
well, they could have paid for the licensing with FIFA, but
they just don't want to.
I think
don't blame them.
No, I think I'm on their side with this one too, because when you've established a fan base and great games over a decade, then I think it'll stand on its own.
Yeah, and I think it will. I think EA will be able to move on from FIFA. It was big news when that dropped. They're like, hey, we're stepping away. We're like, wow, really? What are you doing? The FIFA is the brand. They're like, no, we're the brand. We don't need FIFA. And that's, good on them.
What happened to Pro Evolution Soccer, though? Because I feel like this has happened once before. And
I don't think they had the relationships, though, that EA does, right? They've made all these other deals with other leagues, companies, and teams beforehand where Konami hasn't got that backing to bring in PES to that other level. And at the time, it was FIFA and PES, but everybody went to FIFA. Like, it's just FIFA. And PES is there, and they're like, yeah, it's just like this little darling sister and brother over here playing together, while FIFA is over here taking the lead. So
the big leagues.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of big leagues, Scott, original Metroid Prime developers omitted from remastered credits.
Yeah, I have just learned of this very recently. I'm not very happy about this one.
No,
yourself as an artist, I'm sure you can relate.
Absolutely. James Batchelor of GamesIndustry.biz. Metroid Prime Remastered is the latest title to be criticized for omitting developers from its credits. In this case, the game's original developers. Ouch. Zoid Kirsch, who was a senior engineer on the 2002 Nintendo title, shared via Twitter that rather than including the full original game credits, it instead features the line, quote, based on the work of Metroid Prime, original Nintendo GameCube and Wii versions, development staff, end quote. Scott,
kind of put it all on one sticker.
That's just, So Zoid's got a problem, right? And I get it too. Acknowledge that many studios did amazing work on the remaster, but said he felt let down by this decision. Quote, I worked with so many amazing people in the game, and everyone's name should be included in the remaster, not just a single card like this. Dude, that is unfortunate.
I have to agree. The only reason we have a remaster is because the game was so extraordinary.
No, exactly.
21 years ago? Is that 21 years? Oh, yeah. I feel my age. It's happened again. I was 10 years old when the game came out.
Wah. Scott,
a whole other person ago.
Dude, we do have a couple games out today. Oh, what do we have, my friend?
We have Blanc on the Switch and PC. Journey to the Savage Planet. I'm unaware of that planet. On PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Souls of Chronos is on PlayStation 5, the Nintendo Switch, and PC. Tomb Raider Reloaded launches on iOS and Android systems. Wanted Dead is on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, and PC.
That's perfect. Dude, Wanted Dead, make sure you check out Corey's review. That is live right now on our YouTube channel, as well as InsideTheGame.ca. Find out his thoughts and his take on that one. Dude, just getting back quickly to being left out for Metroid Prime developers. That one card stamp, dude, that hurts. Like, you have everybody's name. It's not like you can't just put that in there. You have all the originals who worked on the game. It would take you 5 minutes. Like,
I've never complained about a credit screen being too long either.
No,
that's not
do you ever watch
to
them though? Like, do you actually watch them? Because I don't.
I have before. If I like the voice actors, I do.
That's fair. I watch it. Here's what and this is what they started doing, right? Is they start putting trailers in it. It kind of clips of what could happen in the future. So I stick around now and watch them all because I'm like, something else gonna pop. But Scott, just like that, my friend, that's going to wrap up today's show, everybody. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You can always join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on Twitch and YouTube at the official ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Till tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.